发挥得不错呀，难道今天是子东幸运日？
This is VED Recure, a roguelike hack and slash being developed by Summerclip. There was a playtest recently, and I got to play during that time, so I want to talk about it. Let's get into it. In the playtest for VED Recure, I could play two characters, Chillo the sword user, and Plumi the gunslinger. They both have a normal and special attack string. The special attack uses energy, and you can see how much you have under your health bar. You are only able to use the special attack string 3 times, but you can get back that energy when you use the normal attacks. The player will have to learn to juggle between the two so they can use the full moveset at all times. There are also defensive options, perfect guard or parry, and dodging. The dodge has a perfect dodge mechanic too. When either are activated, you can press the attack button right after to do a counter attack. But they function differently. The parry counter is the finisher for the normal attack string, and the perfect dodge uses a special action called the dash attack. After doing any of the combo finishers, you can extend that combo with an extra attack. And on the surface, the counterattacks seem like they only differ in the animations as they both do damage. But there's a little bit more to them. Oh, and both characters have passives that complete their kits to make them more interesting. For example, Chillo's Red Heart ability allows her to do more critical damage when she does her special attack. Another mechanic I need to touch on before we get to what makes this game special is poise. Most enemies will have it. Normal enemies will have an armor icon above their health bar. It's tiny, but it can still be visible if you look hard enough. Bosses will show their armor icons more clearly under their health bar. Breaking the enemy's poise requires combo finishers. If you break all of them, you can safely combo them for a short time. But notice as the icons are grayed out. After a short period, the enemies will get back their armor, but they will lose one icon permanently. All the enemies can reach 0 and get staggered by anything. Now let's get into the more unique aspects of VED Recure, which involve the roguelike elements. You fight waves of enemies until you defeat all of them so you can get a reward. And after selecting the passive from the first round, from then onwards you get to choose your next reward. To upgrade your character, you need to obtain buffs. From what I noticed, most of them are able to be equipped to the character's actions, whether it be the combos, the perfect dodge counter, the parry, and even getting hit. As you play, you'll be able to equip more than one effect to an action. How you equip your passives will dictate how you go about your offense and defense. You might like using the perfect dodge and its counter more, so you could equip more of those passives to that action as opposed to parrying. On the flip side, you can also emphasize parrying. And then there's after the run, whether you win or lose. During your runs, you will obtain future tickets. These will be used as currency to buy the items after the run, along with upgrading and other things. All these items can be equipped on a character and give certain stats. Those items can be bought right away, or you can save money. Not only that, if there's a specific piece you're saving for, and you don't want it to be cycled out, you can choose to lock that set for next time. So, playing the VED Recure demo was an interesting experience. Like I've stated, I've been following this dude for a while and I was expecting a more complex game. Complex in the mechanic sense, where there would be more buttons to press to perform combos. Think light and heavy attacks along with the special. However, I was wrong, and that's not a bad thing. In fact, it reminded me of playing a gacha game. I only played one a decent amount, and that was Wuthering Waves. And as the past tense dictates, I don't play it anymore. Ignoring the gacha nonsense, the gameplay of Wuthering Waves functions in a similar way to VED Recure. They both have normal and special attacks, they both have a dodge with a perfect dodge mechanic and a parry. The only difference is that there's one character that you have to control in VED Recure. Even with the game being as simple as it is, I found it to be extremely fun. I love how fluid the combat feels, even if it is an early demo. The cinematic camera angles for the character intros and attacks are cool. The game's graphics look typical for an anime-style game. The art design is serviceable. It's not a feature I love or hate, I'm just used to it, if that makes sense. I do like the character design more on the two playable characters, and even the third one that's shown in the trailers. I can see that the dev likes alt girls and piercings a lot. For the later characters, I hope the developer can lean into that style a lot more heavily. I also like the fact that when you equip items, they show on the character, and this includes the cutscenes. So what are the improvements I think could be made to VED Recure? The gameplay for VED Recure itself is functionally solid. Every button I pressed all worked as intended. The issues that I'm having are more related to the camera and clarity. The camera would keep moving after I've defeated all the robots. This tends to happen a lot more when I have nothing to lock onto or choose to use the free camera. Then for clarity, I'll be talking about the UI in-game. When looking at the normal enemies, I find it hard to see how many armor icons they have and their HP bar. Making that information larger so it can be more visible would be ideal. You can also let the player adjust that on their own in the settings. Speaking of the settings, you should probably consider putting the settings option in the main menu too. Now, let's talk about my wishlist for VED Recure. My wishlist for VED Recure, funny enough, is mostly around the art design and flavor of the game. First, I want to talk about the rooftop, aka the hub. I have a feeling this is being worked on, however, I'm going to ask for this anyway. Can we have the characters hang out here? And I'm talking about both playable and non-playable characters. The area is just begging to have that. Customizing the place with graffiti and other objects would be awesome as well. Let's say you did have this feature of the characters hanging out here. The title screen can show off the characters that you unlocked using the in-game graphics. Don't get me wrong, the current art is nice, but having a dynamic title screen would be a lot more interesting to look at. Moving to gameplay, as it currently stands, progression in the stage is random. The robots will spawn within a radius of your character. You defeat them all, and then you'll get teleported to the boss. The events that take place on this first stage all occur on this map, at least besides the final boss of the demo. But that said, why not have the player make their way to that boss arena? I feel like it would make sense because you have an open map. Then I would only say, when you design other characters, consider making sure that the combat for all of them is varied. An easy way to do this would be giving a character an attack when they hold down the button. But you can do much more than that. You can create a character that doubles down on a specific feature in the game at the expense of another. This would be like having a character that's great at doing damage but can't use the perfect block. But that said, I'm sure you can come up with more than just that. There's so much potential with VED Recure. So, those were my thoughts on the demo for VED Recure. Even if the demo was kinda short, I had a blast playing it. Summer Clip, keep up the good work, man. And I can't wait to see what more you do with this game. While I wasn't able to use the main character in combat, I do know that he will use a skateboard. I'm curious to see what you will do with him in combat. Oh, and I forgot to talk about the story, but I will mention that it is an isekai. The main character gets pulled into the world after working overtime for 27 nights in a row, and his love for gaming has faded as an adult. I didn't talk about the story because I wanted to focus on the gameplay for the demo. Well, at least for this game. So anyway, if you are interested in this game as well, you can wishlist it on Steam. But that's it from me. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.